Welcome back. Welcome back to the pile. I think that's the new thing I'm going to call it. The pile. It just sounds clean.
That
Welcome back to the
sounds
Total Pile Podcast. I'm Tyler Courtney. This is Brock Davis,
hello, hello, hello.
and we are just piles of Pokemon players. Well, I guess I am. Brock's a top 64 finisher at Louisville, so I guess I'm just the pile. It's fine. I'm living with it. Brock, how you doing? How's your week been?
I'm pretty good. It's been a eventful week.
Yeah? Anything non-Pokemon related you want to talk about? That's cool.
No,
What's
just I'm going back to school. That's
Oh,
really a
that's
big thing.
dope. That's awesome, man. Well, as a father of two, it's the little things that happen over the week that make it super interesting. My son is almost two, but my dad got a little, I guess what to say, happy on the trigger and mailed us his present already. I don't know how much it costed. It can't be that much anymore. But remember those like electric Jeeps we used to drive around as kids?
Yep.
They still make them, but he bought him like a motorcycle version of it. So it's like half the
That's
size, which is
fire.
sick. But it's literally a motorcycle. It's literally like, instead of a gas pedal, it's like a little foot pedal on the right, like you would for a motorcycle. Everything's the exact same.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. That kid,
I had a
he can't flip the switch to go to reverse though, so he'll run into a wall, get off of it, and like yank it around to go the opposite direction, and it's
that's funny.
I die every time. I just can't.
I
I don't want
I
to help him. I want him
had
to figure it out.
I had a little tractor version of it.
Yes, dude, absolutely. Those things are ballin'. It's a little too small for my 4-year-old, so she's kind of bummed about it. So I'm like, well, dang, bro. Like,
That's
how do we
funny.
correct this? It's like, oh no. Um, but yeah, that's like the dad update of the week, Poke Dad of the year.
That's cute.
Yeah. Liana realizes what Pokemon is now, which is super cool.
That's awesome. She's what, probably like 3 or
Yeah,
two
she's
years
four.
before it. Yeah, so she's like 2 years from being introduced to the cards, and then another like
Um,
four, then she can actually play.
well, my thing is always like have them learn to read first. I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
that's
that's why I said
right,
no, no,
but
no. That's without a doubt.
we
It's like that's why I
play.
said like two before, like you like fully introduce them to like the rules, and then like
Oh,
eight
sure.
is when you like start taking them to like locals and
Oh,
stuff.
for sure. Right now we play memory, like the matching game with
Yeah,
energy cards. We don't
oh,
have
that's
to
cool.
buy it. We
That's
just
cute.
This is purple and gray and
Yeah,
all the colors. They're not energy types yet.
that's cool.
So that's sick. Yeah. Anyways, Pokédad update done. Let's hop in. There's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of things to look forward to in just general. We're gonna go over some Japan release schedule stuff. I don't want to talk about EX battle decks. If you were expecting a Blaziken hype train, it's not gonna be from me. Um, but
Hey, hey,
there's
hey! Don't disrespect the fire chicken.
the fire chickens. Support stage 2 that can't search your deck for any one card, so I'm
Hey,
good.
hey, 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 hey!
Dude,
I'm gonna try to make it work.
are we
I'm
flipping
gonna make
roles
it work.
here? There's no way you're gonna say Blaziken's good.
It's my favorite Pokemon.
I know it is, but like, still,
It's not good,
it's
but
not
it could be
great.
used in a toolbox deck. Is all I'm gonna say.
All right, well, make it happen. We could use it against with Ceruledge or something. We'll find
No, I'm
out.
not doing that. That sounds awful.
um, so we're not talking about the EX battle decks. If you want to, I'm sure there's plenty of other content creators doing that. Um, but we are gonna kind of go over Japan's release schedule as it like affects us pretty soon. Not as soon as I would like it to. But we'll go over that a little bit. We'll go over little regionals, meta breakdowns, and tournament finishes, and of course my boys back in the finals. Unfortunately, didn't pull the dub out. Unfortunately, and then the majority of this episode, because I think Stellar Crown's a format we can kind of slightly move away from. We'll look at Japan City Leagues and the cool new decks slash small slash minor changes that are happening to the format. Sorry, I burped like 3 times in the middle of that sentence and it felt weird. That was terrible. Um, ready to hop in?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right. Also, shout out to the YouTube gang. I got this dark reader on Microsoft Edge now, so Pokebeach doesn't blind me every time I flip pages. Sick. Anyway, so it's been announced that we will get, or Japan will get, what's called Heat Wave Arena. I don't know if that's, I mean, that's probably just the Japanese translation. But the big thing that is announced with this is that Cynthia's Garchomp is coming. So unfortunately, we a couple weeks ago we did that predict trainer videos. It sounds like they're gonna take the normal big name approach. Like you could have done a different Cynthia's EX, in my opinion. Maybe they will have more than just one, but it is confirmed Cynthia's Garchomp is a thing. But my favorite part of this announcement is the Glory of Team Rocket will release in Japan on April 18th, and which is sick. Because they confirm there is no dark Pokemon. And back in the old Team Rocket set, it used to be like Dark Mewtwo and whatnot. And I think there's a dark, I don't know. There's a bunch of different dark Pokemon, dark and light Pokemon. But this confirms that they're all just Rockets Pokemon, just Rockets EXs and just Rockets Pokemon. And they used the Rockets and Rocket EX Mewtwo as an example. So there is no dark Pokemon. But this does look like it's going to be part of our May set. I guess you want to call it spring set. Because they're getting both of these sets, or they're getting the Cynthia Garchomp EX set March 14th, and then the Rocket set April 18th, which means we'll get both those cards in our May set for NEIC, which is crazy. I love that. It's super exciting. Any thoughts on Cynthia being reprinted? Or I shouldn't say reprinted, just remolded.
Depends what the card does. I don't really have any ties to like Cynthia or the Rocket cards. It's just what do they do and how do they interact and are there
Yeah.
cool interactions or is this just another flop set to where we get like 3 good cards?
Yeah, totally agree. I am, however, partial to Diamond and Pearl. That was my first video game, to be honest. I'm a new kid. I didn't start playing Pokemon games until the DS came out. So I am partial to Cynthia. I don't own any of the craziest Cynthia cards. I'm not like crazy with that, but like she was the first champion I had to defeat, and she got whipped. You know what I'm saying? She got her. You know, me and my Torterra were just walking around, smacking people up. Anyways, so that's super cool. It also does confirm that the Battle Partners Pokemon is their January set. So we should be seeing the Lilies, Clefairy, the Marnies, Grimmsnarl, all that stuff in our February set. So after the Christmas mini set, we should be getting partner Pokemon, which I'm super hyped for. If you want more information on this, Pokebeach is a great source for all the Japan, I guess, leaks or confirmations. I don't know how you want to word that, but Pokebeach is great for that stuff. With that being said, let's just hop right into Lil. Like out with too far future. Let's go to the now. Lil, what a crazy tournament. A lot of fun to watch. I didn't get to watch all the games, but I did watch the finals. And I did, I had a favorite in the finals. Unfortunately, it was not James Cox. But Dragapult lost to James Cox, the eventual winner of the entire tournament, with Regidrago V-Star. And there's nothing crazy about this list. It looks very similar to the Ian Robb list. I couldn't tell you what they changed. It is playing the 1/1 Noctowl. It is playing Giratina and Kyurem still. But overall, it looks like Regidrago V-Star.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, this is very similar to like Isaiah Bradner's original list that he did well at Baltimore with. Just a very generic cut down on the knockdown, cut down on the tail mask, cut down on the Regidrago V to be able to fit in the 1/1 knockdown line, and it just increases your consistency. I still hate this deck as a whole, just because it feels like a giant brick every time I play it, but I understand it. Also, something cool to note about James Cox winning this event is now the entire Australian Brain Trust, which is like the 8 players in Australia that travel, they've all won a regional in the modern era now. So like I'm pretty sure they've kind of like solidified themselves as like the best testing group in the world currently, outside of maybe Japan because we don't really see what goes on in Japan as much. But
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
up
like
there
that's
for
a
sure.
pretty
Like I
yeah.
think the main groups are like what? I mean, like Bradner and John Ang and those guys, and then
But they only have like 2 wins amongst all of them.
no, I agree. I'm just like for
Yeah.
comparison to the other groups, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
Azul and Caleb
Zol,
and Grant
Gadamer, and all
Mandler.
them.
Yeah, like that. I would say that's probably the optimal, or I guess not the pedestal to reach,
Yeah.
because like Azul's won so many last season and just their worlds finishes and whatnot. They're
Well, I was about
very
to
very
say,
good.
besides Gadamer winning one, like
I don't think
last tournament,
has
he
Grant
hasn't
won.
won one. Grant's never won one.
Mm. So
And
maybe Azul just carries.
I was about to say, like, if you want to go back to like their entire testing group, because they still test with Danny Altavilla, Danny has 7, Gadamer has 6, and Azul has 7. So if you want to go like based off of the entirety of it, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about since like 2020, like
Yeah. No,
since
since
we came
COVID,
back from
right?
COVID.
Yeah.
I think I would argue they're the best to
Yeah.
do it currently. Azul's the best players in that time frame, but like I think they're the best testing group, like
Yeah.
per player.
Yeah, the Australians do super well. Obviously, Brent Tonneson was the number one
Yep.
CP earner last year. He traveled
Yeah.
the world and just, I think he almost won in every continent. I don't think he won in Latin America, but I think he won or did really well in Europe. I can't remember if he won a European regional or not.
I don't think he won an American regional.
Moment of silence to see if I can think of one, and I can't.
Just go.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Either way, but yeah, the Australian group is they're always in there. They're always in the mix. That's the biggest thing you could say
Yes.
about them. They are always there. There's always one. If one of those 8 people are at an event, they're normally doing pretty well. And so, shout out to them and shout out to James Cook. I love his content on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, um,
Very
that's
good
great
content.
stuff. I haven't met him in person, but his content's great. So
Very nice dude. Very nice dude.
Um, obviously, then in second place, I mentioned it. Unfortunately, got the L, but did get a 6 prize turn if he didn't concede. Is Dragapult versus the Regidrago player, and I have now played with this version quite a bit since the event ended. Probably more than I should have. This is very similar to what Dragapult looked like prior to Ryuki winning Dortmund, and I still can't figure out which one's my favorite. Um, this one does seem cleaner, and it might be because I've watching the finals. It's changed my view on how you can optimally be aggressive without taking knockouts, which seems massive in this format.
Yeah.
And the way I played it previously, I think a lot of people played it previously, was you were trying to trade, which Dragapult's not a trading deck unless you're
Nope.
playing Regidrago, because you could trade with it and then key him the rest of the board for a game. But the more I try to set up a 4 and 6 prize turn game, the more success I'm having. Um, and so I love this version of Dragapult as well. I think the Halucha's cool. It's probably cuttable, but it's nice damage support without Dusknor in the line, right? We're obviously playing Pidgeot. I don't want to be playing 3 stage 2s, so I get why it's in there. Um, the big thing that stands out to me in this list is the 3 cards on the bottom: TM Devo, Temple of Sinnoh, and Headquarters. That is a lot of slots for 3 matchups, right? I guess technically 4 if you count Turtle. You play the Devo for Charizard. and I guess a one-off Greninja EX, the Mirror, and Charizard. And Temple
That's
of
four
Sinnoh
decks.
is just for Turtle and Lugia, and then Headquarters is just for Raging Bolt. It seems like a lot of one-off techs for one-off matchups, but he obviously with Pidgeot you're way more consistent in general, so you can get away with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Without the headquarters, you auto lose to Bolt. Like, it's not even close.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
you
I
just auto lose.
you do. It's still an unfavorable
Yeah.
matchup by far. Even with the Headquarters, getting a third energy on a
But like,
Raging Bull is not incredibly difficult.
no, but it is more difficult. Like, sometimes they can't do it if they have an empty bolt, so it gives you a turn. Like, they have to
Right.
find the Pokestops, which isn't the easiest thing to find. And in my experience, the Lugia matchup is like almost unwinnable for Dragapult if they just go turn to attack. It doesn't really matter turn to any attack. Just turn to attack, especially a turn to Iron Hands, they just win, which isn't hard for Lugia to pull off.
Yeah, it just sometimes Lugia does Lugia things. Um,
Not as
I
often
yeah,
as
and the big
this
thing with
does.
Headquarters too, especially in that Raging Bolt matchup, as long as you can get them to burst roar once after turn two, then it's done its job. So like you only need it to work once. It's just effectively deciding when that turn is. Um, because you're right. If you have to SADA manually attach and energy switch, like I don't even think Bolt plays energy switch, so you
They
can't
don't
even do
play
it anyway.
energy
So
switch.
like it's irrelevant to that point. But yeah, if you can get that turn pulled off and they miss discard energies or something like that, then you're set. But yeah, Dragapult's in the mix again. It seems like it's just I mean the two top decks use the same attacker just in different forms, so that was cool. But the top eight is filled with Regidrago and Lugia. There is one Raging Bolt that made it. I think they cut to 9, right? Am I correct in saying that? I think it was 9.
Yes. I know Nina made it, which that girl's on fire right now, by the way.
Who? Oh, Nina
I
as I can't say her
Yes.
last
So
name.
she is like she's either 15 or 16 years old, and this is her second like losing into like the
The
whatever it's called.
asymmetrical cut.
Yeah, she's lost asymmetrical both times. But this is our first two tournaments in Masters. So
That's
like this is
crazy.
insane to me. Because like she's so young performing at such a level.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Um, and it's basically the same list. I can't even tell the difference from the images. Obviously, I don't think James is playing Cleffa, is he?
Yes.
Oh, I'm wondering what cards are different now. Oh, the supporter count's different. That's what it is. Um, Nina played a third Iono. I'm not sure what they cut it at. But either way, yeah, so super cool. I was so hoping the Ben Net would have made asymmetrical cut. That's just a me thing. I think this deck is a lot of fun to watch. It's terrible to play against.
It's awful
Um,
to play too.
it's a very big brain deck. It really is. And then you
Well,
have to
it's
play
just
Luminous Energy now. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. But the Gravity Gemstone, I never would have thought this would matter, but it does because all these one
well, that's
retreat
the best
cost
card in the
Pokemon.
deck.
It's so good. It's so clean. Um, Fortunately, you do not play any type of Arven, but you're hoping Curlia just finds it naturally, and you have plenty of time with Everlasting Darkness to figure it out. But I love Bayonetta. I'm not big brain enough to be good at it, but it's a super cool deck. Um, Last one I wanted to touch on before we get super distracted is Gouging Fire. Luke Kirkham is great at finding these lists that just are off the wall and out of nowhere. We saw a couple Gouging Fire in Louisville, but nothing to a top 16 finish. And this deck is just cool. It's just cool. Secret Box, you're hitting for 260, 270 with the Moltres. Like, big shout outs to the Gouging Fire. I love it. Have you picked up yours yet, Brock?
My gouging fire.
Yeah, you're Gouging Fire.
I have 7 alt arts.
So then you're good. Just send me 3 of them and we could show up to San Antonio, Gouging Fire.
$25 a piece.
Absolutely not. Anyways, so we got Gouging Fire in there. I think the big ones that are the big talking points, we mentioned both a little bit already, but there is only one in the first 32, one in top 32, and then one in 35th. Like, what happens to Bolt here? Do they just like, is it like a one-off tournament in Louisville? Like, is the
So,
deck just
okay,
bad?
okay. So basically, at Louisville, you had one of the best players in the world playing Bolt that is different than every other Bolt list. So that's
Yeah.
the first thing. Is like you had a very talented player. So he was able to typically in Bolt, you just go, it's very linear. Like you don't really veer too much either way when you're playing the deck. The deck either does what it does or it bricks. There's
Mm-hmm.
like no real ebb and flow with the deck. Um, but when Caleb was playing the Luminion and stuff like that, it allowed him to veer off the path a little bit more. Um, and all of the like typically what I'm seeing from these bolt lists, like yeah, this is the standard bolt list that made top 8. Like it's
Yeah.
just not a deck that's going to see a lot of success in day 2 when everybody knows how the deck is played, everybody knows how the deck does, and you can't really do anything about it because the deck is the deck. Like you're not gonna outskill somebody with the deck because it's just there's no skill really involved with outplaying your opponent because the deck either does what it does or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And like you said, I don't think either of the lists that made top 32 or top 64, whatever you want to say it is, none of them are playing Luminion. Let me check the 35th list before I say that again. But
he is the
the
35th is he's playing Caleb's exact 60.
Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that stands out between the two, and I'll open the image to make sure. Yeah, Caleb's list doesn't play any shoes. He just okay. It's just like
Yes.
I think that seems way better. You get to fit the bundle in, the Luminion in. There's just more, like you said, more versatility
It
into it.
depends. Like I think if you're playing a deck in a best of 1, I feel like the shoes is needed. But a best 2 out of 3, you can brick once and move on.
Yeah,
So I think Caleb's list is very much catered towards the best of 3 environment, but
yeah,
the shoes build with like just the more quote unquote consistency cards or less cards in your deck as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, like trekking shoes just -1 card in your deck because you play it and you immediately get rid of it.
yeah. It's nice.
So it's I
I
think it's
like
better in
shoes.
that environment.
I love
I'm like
shoes.
50-50 on it. Like I don't like shoes in Palkia, but I like shoes in Bolt.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Another main one that kind of just fell off in this tournament was Terrapagos. Like it just kind of disappeared from the meta in general. It seemed like it went all the way down to 7%, roughly rounding up here. It still made the top 6 graphic, um, but it definitely was not in the numbers that NA had it in. And I think that's because Reggie Drago was just so good in this tournament as well. If Bolt's not performing and keeping other things in check, then like what stops them from just Kieraming twice your board as a turtle?
Yeah, no, that matchup's awful.
If you have any chance in that, you have to play double boof just to stop the Kieran play. Because Manaphy, they can just cancel in Cologne and get around it. I think you have to play double boof to even have a chance at winning the Drago matchup. Like, it's just in general. Like, obviously, like, maybe Manaphy or Buffalon, whatever you pick, like, that's up to you. I don't know which one's better, which one's not. But, like, the fact that Kieran only does 50 damage to a knocked owl or a fan rotom or whatever is just massive.
Yeah, like they can still pull off the Kieran play because like in that matchup you want to you want to go wide with your Duskulls and like try to pull off big turns like that. So if you ever can, like just going Kieran blow up 3 Duskulls or whatever
Yeah,
is still a
and
thing.
that's the weirdest thing too. Is I guess there's another big talking point. Not a lot of Duskull in the top table there. Like I think
Yeah,
the first Duskull list. I
that
gotta
is
scroll up here.
13th. 13th.
Oh yeah, there is one Palkia Duskull on 13th. Yep.
And then there's only one in top 16, and then you get a couple in top 32.
Yeah, and then also just a quick shout out to Stefan Ivanov. He ran it back with the Palkia Duskull. And 17th is nothing to scoff at. It's very good placement after
This
finishing
deck's
fourth.
insane, by the way.
I love this deck. I think it's so much fun. I don't know what the difference between this list and the list he played in Dortmund.
I don't think he's playing any shoe.
No, he plays 2 shoes. He might have cut the shoe count a little
He
bit.
cut one shoe
Cut a
for
shoe.
something. I'm playing 0 shoes in my build currently. He's playing a second vacuum. That's what it is.
Oh, there it is. Yep, good shout. I am on the double Froakie build, but I still think I'm playing at least 2 shoes. I don't think I added a second vacuum. I just think it's too good. Double Froakie is just too clean. But yeah. Overall meta, and it seems very similar. Lost Box fell off a cliff. I mean, it still had 3 finish in day 2, like top 64, I think. Yeah, 29th, 53rd, and 58th. So Lost Box is still here, but you can see their better matchups kind of fell off. So the Charizards, the Dragapults, the even Raging Bolt still like that's easy for them. But with Raging Bolt dropping off, like you're just there, you're in it, you're in the mix. But also Lost Box is still very hard in just general. So. But 5.2%, not upsetting about it. What else did I want to talk about real fast? We talked about Gouging Fire. Talked about all that. Lugia still hasn't changed. There's 3 in top 8, like classic stuff. I don't think anything super. Oh, I guess I shout out to Zapdos TCG. You totally forgot about that. This is the same list he played to Worlds, I think, as well, or close to it. Like he's just playing. Yeah, and it's actually the exact same list. It says right at the bottom. He played it for Worlds, Dortmund, and Lille, and he's got day 2 finishes at all of them. I do like the rat. I don't know if it's a 3-3 thing for me, but the rat, you just have to play the rat. You played Rule 60 in Louisville, right?
Yep.
What do you think the biggest trade off is between like a because that's a 1-1 rat list, right?
Yeah. So that list, Roll's list is just more powerful. This list is a little more consistent. Like being able, there were so many games that I won because I had the one of Lightning Energy and the Raikou. Being able to attack with both of them, especially into Palkia, is just nuts. And the thing is, I feel like this build has an awful Palkia matchup because your Minchinos just get sniped
all the time by Dustors, yeah.
That's what, or no, just by Greninja, like a turn 2 Ninja.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have no way to answer the Palkia.
Right.
Because Iron Hands can't kill a Palkia. So it's like, I feel like this builds Dusknoir or Palkia Dusknoir is just awful compared to like Rolls list where it's like actually, I think, very, very favored.
Winnable, yeah. Instead of,
no, I think it's very favored.
What it says, yeah, instead of you being 40-60, you're 60-40.
Yeah. Because like the Raikou just blows up whatever you want, and then if you manually attach to the Iron Hands on the bench, you're just like, okay, I lose now.
Yeah.
Because like since I did well, there's a lot of people in Memphis that have picked up my roll 60 from this, and I'm playing like Palkia currently, and it's like, bro, if they get the manual attachment and attack me with either one of those, bro, it feels so bad.
Yeah, I could see that. Just in general. And I do like Vessel a lot, especially because you get to play like that one Lightning Energy. That Vessel just being an extra discarding card just seems so good. And I still just hate Great Ball. Great Ball is just that's just a me thing. I know you need to play it.
I don't know. No, I don't play Great Ball.
Oh, Rolls didn't play Great Ball?
No, he played 2 Nest Ball in the Vessel.
Oh, I guess that works too. Yeah, me and Great Ball.
This is much more of a like. Zapdos is a good player. He's proven himself that he's a good player over the past few years.
Yeah,
but this is very
much. He's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's a good player. He's proven that he's a good player. But this does feel like it's more of like a newer player build, like newer player friendly style build of Lugia
Yeah, you're just flying.
Yeah, you're playing great balls. I like the double jamming, but like you do lose a lot of consistency when not playing the Mezagoza. But you gain more power so it's like one of those like, do you want power or do you want consistency type thing?
Well, yeah, the
But
trade off.
exactly. But that's a good list to start if you're like not a big fan of Lugia because it just consistent. You're not
Yeah.
gonna brick, quote unquote, brick as much. So
Yeah, I won't touch Lugia with a 10-foot pole. Absolutely not. It could be the best deck ever made. I still won't play it. Amazing Rare Raikou and Amazing Rare Rayquaza all day. That's pretty much all I had for Lil. Anything else you wanted to mention? I guess we
Nope.
can mention Xander's stall list real fast. Because that's always fun to talk about.
I'm not
Xander's
saying it
awesome.
didn't look that different, did it?
No, it's just the Snorlax, Mimikyu, one Cornerstone. But it's more, and there's no Rotom. That's the craziest part to me. There is not a single Rotom.
So that doesn't really surprise me
That's
that much. So I've been putting a lot of time into Snorlax or just control itself recently because I have a buddy who's has a good chance of playing control at Sacramento. And honestly, like especially Snorlax control, once you get all 4 Snorlaxes out, like draw them off your Rotom, your board is literally just 4 Snorlax, and you have to penny up the Rotom, and you just kind of hope it gets there.
And so this just eliminates you having to do that.
This just eliminates it, and I guess.
I mean, he swapped it out for the Choi, which is the same thing. You just draw 3 cards.
Yeah, but it's not every turn.
I know it's not.
I still
I think
feel
that's
like you
so
should
funny, bro. Like
play
I've
it.
never seen this card before in my
The
entire
Choi
life.
is actually. I don't hate the Choi. It does just seem weird though.
I mean, you get to see your opponent's hand before you Eerie. It helps you with timing, I guess.
Yeah, but it's a supporter. That's
I
my
know.
only thing.
I
He plays 4 boxed orders.
Yeah, the box order is super cool. That was
That's
the next thing
kind
I
of
was saying. Yeah, then search your deck
crazy.
for the 2 item cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your turn ends. I mean, this is basically Rotom, right? Like you just play box order, and then you find the cards you
I didn't
need.
see this the first time.
Yeah, this is the main highlight of the deck. The box order is just, hey, instead of hoping I draw them off Rotom, I'm gonna play box order. It's the same thing.
Grab. I feel like he got donked more than he should have, or maybe that's just a me thing.
I feel like if you don't start the box order, because you only play the 3 nest balls, right? So like if you do just start one lone Snorlax, like it's not impossible. So,
And he's not playing a mist energy.
Oh wow, I didn't even
So he might just be taking a. I guess you don't take an
Bro, what
L
does
of
Lucky
Dragon
Helmet
Pulse.
do?
If it gets hit, you draw 2 cards.
Yeah, who needs Rotom? I'm playing Lucky Helmet in box orders. I'm not. Yeah, who needs it?
I would love for you to ever play a control deck.
No,
Tyler.
I'll never do it.
Okay.
Never. I don't think I'll ever do it.
It's a cool list, but
it's better than the Cornerstone Noivern list. That's for sure. That thing.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's a pile. Certified pile approved pile.
I do not endorse anything said by Tyler on this podcast.
That's crazy. Absolute pile. Last little bit of spiciness here. There is a Dragapult down at like 60, or what is that? Let me go back. At 43rd. I only mentioned this because I played a 1-1 RCSV Starlight. No Rotom.
You got to increase the pile chance.
You gotta increase the pile chance, but like, hey, why would I?
The deck's a giant pile. You got to add something to make it more consistent.
Instead of Star Alchemy for 1 card, I could just Star Birth for 2 cards and get whatever the heck I want.
Yeah, and then that Arceus gets stuck in the active because you're not going to manually attach 3 energies to it.
We still have Switch, bro. Don't even worry about it. We still got Switch.
Sure.
It's fine, dude. We Star Birth for it. They did cut. They cut 2 Dust. They cut 1 Duskull and 1 Nor to make it fit, and they cut Rotom for Manaphy. So, but I'll have to try it out. I'm not gonna hate on anybody. Awful. They also increased the energy count to 4/4 instead of 3/3. They also played Forge a Cloak. That's just That's an idea. That's for sure. That's just, I wouldn't do it. I'm also never day 2'd, so don't take my advice. It's fine. Sick. That wraps up Lil. I think that's everything we needed to talk about. Um, Shout out to James Cox. Great content, great player. Love to see the win. Shout out to Australia. Bring back OCIC. Or give him an SPE or something, dude. Give him an extra regional. Um, Shout out PokeHive as well. PokeHive has all the best data. I pull all this stuff up all the time, just in freelance, and I love it. Um, Pause. Wow, that's crazy. Anyways, so we're gonna go into City League Watch. I think Surging Sparks is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a great, hopefully, a better format. I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna be neutral in general. You know, in general. Sorry. Thoughts on Surging Sparks, Brock?
I don't think it changes the format that much. There's only like 6 cards that are actually relevant. That's
Uh,
actually gonna flip the meta. I think Lost Box gets a lot better, but
yeah, I haven't seen any Lost Box win one yet. I pulled about what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8
Lost
lists.
Box never does well in Japan. That's the thing. Is
Yeah.
they don't want to commit to the like oddness of Lost Box because like you only have access to like every other card, so it's like you have to make really poor decisions to like get to the final goal.
Yeah. I think the first one we're gonna hop into is a City League winning Maridon list, and this just looks a lot of fun. It's playing the 2/2 Magneton, which I don't know how great it will be, but energy acceleration in Maridon, fantastic. If you don't know, I think it's you can knock. Yeah, here we go. If you knock this opponent, you go. Oh my god, words. If you use this ability, this Pokemon is knocked out. Attach up to 3 basic energies from your discard pile to your lightning Pokemon any way you like. Um, and it's got a really cool artwork as the promo in the pre-release kits that come out this weekend. Um, this does allow Raichu to come back into play for those bigger matchups. They are also playing the newer stadium, the Lively Stadium, which I'm surprised it's not the Stage 2 stadium. But they are increasing their HP by 30. All basic Pokemon get an extra 30 HP, and they still play the one of Bravery Charm. So you could potentially have a Iron Hands with 310 HP, which is crazy. Um, they also play the one of Latios that gives all basic Pokemon free retreat. It's basically your beach court replacement, which is kind of interesting. Any thoughts on the Dawn? Does the Dawn have a chance?
I don't think this list does. Um, if I'm looking at the same list, it doesn't play a Raikou.
Correct. It does not play Raikou.
Yeah, like I feel like Raikou is the only way the deck kind of stabilizes early, like to be able to take that turn one knockout.
Yeah.
um,
I think they're hoping is to guarantee, like, honestly, if you're playing the Magneton, like, you're going first, right? And then you're hoping to get the Ampy very much.
sure, but if you're doing that, then like your Raging Bolt
Oh, it's already
and like
terrible. So,
that's
like,
what I'm
they
saying is
might as
like
well just
those
full
those
sell it.
types of matchups. Like that's what I'm saying is like I don't, but like with the other like with the Area Zero builds, at least you, which I think the Area Zero build is just way better than this style of build in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because the Area Zero build can have a chance going second against like the Miraidon decks.
Yeah.
When this deck has like zero, which like over in the states are you got Miraidon at 15 or at a Raging Bolt at 15 to 20% sometimes. So it's like if they're that big, you can't just take an auto loss to like the number 2 or 3 deck in
Yeah.
the room.
I haven't seen a list yet, but shout out Sneaker Talk. I haven't met him or know him. He posted a Twitter clip, I think it's yesterday or the day before. He's playing Terrapagos in Maridon now, and a couple glass trumpets. And so he ended a game doing 600 damage with a Raichu. But that also can hit 240 cleanly with Terrapagos. So might not be the answer to your Raging Bolt matchup, but at least you can hit 240 now. Because you have Area 0, Terapagos, Glass Trumpet, 2 Lightning to it. You hit 240. Good math. Good math. May not be the answer. May not be good at all. But I thought the clip was awesome. He like generated, hit double generator, Glass Trumpet, 2 more energies to a Terapagos, discarded, I think, too many energies for his last 2 prizes for 600 damage. So,
Yeah.
Raichu, I think if you're going to play this type of deck with its Magnetons, Terapagos, Trumpets, whatever, I think Raichu has a place back in the format. If
I
it
think
can stay alive.
Raichu definitely has a place if
Yeah.
you're playing Magneton, which I don't know. I don't know how good it actually is. At least a 2-2 build or like a 2-2 version of it. I think like a 2-1 version of it
might be nice
could be
too,
very
yeah.
good, because the whole reason is like, and I've had this conversation with some friends recently, is like if you're like because you're only gonna play 1 per game, because if you play 2, then you're basically already lost.
Yeah, you
Because
lose
like
the 2-2-2 trade.
Exactly. So if you pop 1, then you've already then you're like fine. You're even, or like you're ahead, because like no one's gonna want to take a 1 prizer.
Yeah,
on
you put them on the odd prizes, and you don't have any 1 prizers besides Zapdos and Greninja
Exactly.
anyway.
So but they're not gonna take it. Like at least in the Dusknoir matchups, you just don't bench them, because then they can Briar and get some weird plays.
Or you could bench them and just not Magneton. Because like most of the Briar,
that too.
Yeah, most of the matchups you would need the Magneton in, you're not gonna use Raichu in that. So like if you're playing against Palkia, I don't have to ever use Magneton. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You could just attach and like go in there right on.
You might need to.
Maybe.
Greninja's really big.
But like you're hoping to. Oh yeah, you're not wrong. I forgot about Greninja.
Greninja EX.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it just wipes it.
It would just wipe you.
Yeah,
it would just wipe you.
It's like that matchup is like probably one of the most toxic matchups in the game right now.
Yeah,
because it's like if I set up a Greninja EX, it's like, well, I lose.
Yeah, it's just, as a
or do I find
lose?
Do I find boss and hit generators to replace whatever their Greninja killed?
Or do you hit the 6 energy? No, what is it? Yeah, 6 energy Raichu.
Yeah, that's a lot of energies.
That's a lot. Next one we're talking about. We'll move on. Yep. That's a lot of Miraidon.
No, you're good.
Last thing about that Miraidon, it didn't play the Pikachu, which is cool. Shout out to you.
It's just a starter for Area 0.
Yeah, I guess you're not putting Area 0 in that list. Next one I got is the Ceruledge. This is an older list, so it might take you a while to go back and find it.
Just send it to me on Discord.
Oh, here, hold on. I can just do that. Okay, just share your screen. Bam. Can you see it in the Discord chat?
Yep.
There we go. Perfect. Yep. So Ceruledge, I love this card. I don't think it's gonna be an A tier deck. Let's not get it twisted. But it does have hope. It is very fast. It is very good at knocking out probably just regular EXs and then baby Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
And it's going to struggle with Dragapults and Charizards more than it wants to, but 270 is a good number. Because you can't... That's the problem with Goldengo sometimes, is 260 is almost too good, but also still awkward. 270 is even more awkward for a Dragapult. And it forces Regidrago to use more Giratina attacks. Anyways, but it's 30 plus. Each energy is 30 more in your discard pile. Let me say that without reading it. 30 plus. This attack does 20 more damage for each energy card in your discard pile. So you put 10, 15 energy in your discard pile, and you're moving. And you play the new A spec Perfect Mixer. Search your deck up to 5 cards and discard them, then shuffle your deck. I prefer the Drillbur, but that's just me. I love Drillbur. But playing Perfect Mixer and playing Radiant Greninja and a 1/1 Palkia, that's clean. I did not have a big enough brain for that play, but like it gives you such a better option going turn 1, turn 2. Greninja double snipe is great. Palkia for 260 is great. Like, I can't see a flaw in this deck. Obviously, matchup dependent, right? The Carmine's a little weird for me, but like, turn 1 supporter is pretty good. Discard, draw 5. Not a bad start. Thoughts on Cerulege?
I think it's a pile.
That's crazy.
All I'm gonna say is look at the last 2 cards. It's 18 energies.
Correct. It is a lot of energy.
So
Maridon plays 18 energies.
Yes, and I also think Maridon's a pile.
That's crazy. Great.
So I think you're. So one.
Wait, hold on.
So it's not just that.
Pause. How many energy are in your Lugia deck?
16.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I can search out. 4 every turn, so I can thin them out by the end of the game.
I got vessels. No big deal.
Anyways,
I got perfect.
Also,
mixer.
my other issue
5.
is like. Also, it's like you're relying on a 4 of basic and a 3 of EX to do most of your attacking. It's just so linear.
Yep.
So it's like this deck can get just outplayed so easily from it's the same Bolt argument.
Oh, for sure.
That's why I said this is a pile. It might actually, like, I don't think this is a bad deck. I think this is a B to C tier deck.
Mm-hmm.
That I wouldn't be surprised if it like top 32 or top 16 in the tournament, because I think it will be able to pull off turn 2 Palkia very easily.
Oh, almost for free, because you're perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
Your perfect mixer is 5 water.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
I think that's going to be a strength of the deck, is turn 2 Palkia and then kind of fumbling your way to the rest of the game, if that makes sense. So it's like I think how people are perceiving the deck, where it's like you just go EX, or you go Cerulege for 3 knockouts. I don't think that's how the deck's gonna be played. I think the deck's gonna be played more of like, I think we're actually gonna end up playing a 2/2 Palkia V star.
Yeah,
to where like you're going to be going Greninja every single game.
Yeah.
Like, even in the matchups you don't want to make it easier for Cerulege to get the knockout.
For sure.
And Palkia is a really good attacker too, by the way.
Palkia.
Like, it's still a valid attack.
Yeah, I bought Pearl. Pearl's better. Palkia's better. I wish this was more of a Pokestop version. That's the one I want to try. Obviously, you don't play Perfect Mixer in a Pokestop version. The Lost City's cool, but that's assuming you pull off the Greninja play. If you just show up and you Lost City 2 Dreepy or 2 Charmanders or whatever, 2 knocked out or 2 Hoot Hoots turn 1, like, good luck, right? That's incredible play. But I think a Pokestop stretcher version of this,
For sure.
They're obviously playing 3 stretcher already to get back fire energy you discarded, so your attack is still good. But like, I think Pokestop is just way better here. You're already playing thin supporters anyway, besides Research and Carmine. Like, might as well just like lean somewhat into that. Obviously, it's not going to be an Arven based build or anything like that, because you want to discard cards. But like, let's play shoes. Let's get some stuff rolling here. Let's like.
Yeah, I don't think that list is very good.
No, but
it's more of what I was thinking.
I agree. I loved it because I never thought of the Palkia Greninja combination. So and it won at City League like that.
I also didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely, whatever list of Cerulege I'm making, Palkia and Greninja are for sure it. Obviously, Greninja was already in a lot of lists, but I think Palkia, Greninja, I don't know if Mixer is the right thing, but like, this seems better than playing 3 Drillbur.
I don't even know what the Drillbur does.
Oh, what? The Drillbur is sick, dude. When you bench the Pokemon from your hand, search your deck for 3 fighting energy and discard them.
Yeah, it seems really bad.
It's awesome. It's perfect Mixer out of hand. It's the same thing. It's incredible.
Yes, but you have to play a 3rd energy type, which is just
no. You wouldn't. Well, they don't play Palkia in the.
Okay, well then the deck's bad.
No, it's so good. It's still Drillbur's great. I bought my Drillbur already. It's
still bad.
I think here we'll go with the new ones first. I had Dragapult. Like, awkwardly in the middle there. The next new archetype is Archaladon. Archaladon, if you didn't know, when you alloy build, you may use this ability when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Attach up to 2 basic metal energy cards from your discard pile to your metal Pokemon any way you like. I love this card because it's a stage 1, not a stage 2. That's 300 HP on a stage 2. Stage 1. That's massive. Problem is you lose the Ceruledge because you're metal or you're fire weak. I love this list for a couple of reasons. One, it plays the Luxray. We haven't seen this card in a long time, but it's the one where if you can start it.
It's essentially Talonflame, yeah.
Yeah, Talonflame. But it's been out since Crown Zenith, and it's been out for, like it kind of just fell off because the format is so fast. But like the ability to have a 160 starter and you just search your deck for 2 trainer cards going second is pretty cool. Love that. Luxray sick. And it has free retreat. The interesting wrinkle that I didn't see in Archaladon is the Memory Dive Relicanth, so that you can use the Raging Hammer. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. But I think that's... You're hoping you... obviously Archaladon will survive an attack. I just think every turn you're going to be doing 220 and knocking out whatever support Pokemon you want. Like, it's just... You're playing the Scoop Up Cyclone, you're playing the Turo, this thing's beefy, you're going to live, and you're going to just keep recycling these things over and over again. And my buddy Dylan is super hyped on Archaladon. I think it's going to be a fun list. I wish it was 230 instead of 220, but that's just me. Oh, Mike check?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, repeat what you just said. Back up.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think the deck has potential. I think you're going to need to play more than one Turo, but...
you got Scoop Up. You're good.
Yeah.
It's only a 3-turn game.
Yeah. I don't like the Luxray, personally. I think that's just a little clunk.
It's not, yeah,
it's not deck.
Either.
I think Cleffa is just a better option for like that turn 2, like that turn 2 go second type thing. Just to see more cards.
Yeah, and if you never had a Cleffa, it's whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So, like, that's more of where my head's at. I think this deck has potential. I don't think it's great. Just because Baby Duraludon dies to Dusknoir. That's the biggest issue I have with it. But besides that, I think the deck...
Hey, every evolving deck dies to Dusknoir, so I don't think it's any different.
I'm saying, but like this is supposed to be like a tank deck, and like when you can't recycle. So like what I'm saying is like...
Oh, if they knock out active and your bench Duraludon.
Well, no. What I'm saying is like if they punch into your so if they go Nor blow up the Duraludon on the bench, and they punch into your Archaladon, they can't then Turo or Scoop Up Cyclone the one on the active because then they can't attack with it.
Right. And the big thing here is too, like, this is the only deck that I could think of that evolves that can't use Buddy Poppin'.
There's a couple, but yeah.
I mean, if you're not counting V-Stars, I'm not counting V-Stars.
Well, that's still an evolution.
No, sure. Stop it. That's like level X.
That's an evolution.
That's like level X type stuff.
That's an evolution.
No, that doesn't count. We're talking about stage 2 decks, dude. Not stage 2 deck.
This is a stage 1.
Yeah, but like you get to play Buddy Hoffman in the Ceruledge deck, for example. Like this deck, you're just playing this big old tower.
Yeah.
I'm still mad they make Archaladon though. Like we just had G-Max Archaladon or Duraludon, and you played this in Peoria even just last year. That doesn't obviously doesn't exist anymore. But, like, how are you going to have a basic with a Dynamax and G-Max form or whatever, and then give him an evolution in the next game?
I think it's cool.
It does look cool, though. It is just a giant bridge.
But,
it literally looks like the G-Max version instead of it.
I will say, like, apparently Duraludon in, like, VGC is, like, stupid because you can put Eviolite on Duraludon, which is already a super bulky Pokemon.
It is so funny. I do know that. But like, if you look at the Archaladon really close, like it's just the same Pokemon, just less of a tower.
No, this one's a bridge.
I know, the other one's a tower. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the tower's a little bit taller. Okay, get off it.
Yeah.
This is a pile, and I wanted to show it because it's such a pile, and I love it. Bro, this is Greninja EX, Pidgeot, Faraffarig,
Yeah, we can move on from this one. This one's
Wellspring,
hurting my head.
Wellspring, Cornerstone, Kyurem, Blood Medusa, and Latios with a Mimikyu.
This looks like a toward pile.
It looks like a control slash pile. Just a quick reminder, the Faraffarig's ability that can't be damaged by basic EXs.
Yeah, basically EXs.
We all
And
know
it
what
does like a decent amount of
it's
damage.
like 160 and 30, I think.
Yeah.
160 and 30. Yep. So pretty cool card. The Kyurem's new, which we haven't talked about, but it just, if your opponent's active opponent's a dragon Pokemon, it is not paralyzed. Like I guess that's kind of stally.
Regidrago and stuff.
Regidrago and whatever. Bolt and I just don't know how we're accelerating energy and pulling off all these. But all these attacks have one thing in common. They get to utilize counter gain, which is a card that's coming back, which I think is a good card. So all these attacks only cost 2 energies instead of 3.
I dug through my bulk the other day and found all my old ones.
Nice. I don't think I have any. I'll have to go look and see. Actually,
You definitely have some.
No, because I didn't get back into it until.
No, you played during Lost. No, you didn't. You played during Team Up.
No, I put a little bit because I had Lost Thunder cards because of it, but like I also sold all that stuff when I was in Denver.
Oh, gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
yeah, you're good. But I did own counter gains previously. I do like the newer artwork looks cooler to me. Was that the newer one?
That's the old one.
That is the Lost Thunder one. Dang it! Maybe I don't like the new art. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, this is the pile of the week. That's a new segment right there. Pile of the week. We're gonna do that. Anyways, we're gonna love the crap out of that. Anyways, yeah, I had to put that in there. The next one, I think this deck's too cool. I do. I think it's awesome.
That's weird.
This is Blissey Pikachu. Got the Monkey Dory in
here. Can you
here.
click on the Power Glass for me?
It's the one that adds the energy at the end of your turn.
Okay, so you don't have to pass. Okay, cool.
No, yeah. You can still attack. It's very much like Venusaur. Venusaur, Radiant Venusaur.
The Radiant, yeah.
But you just attach this to your active Pikachu, and obviously you're living through the turn anyway because your sweet ability. He's on 10 HP. The coolest part is I think the card is cool. Or Precious Carrier. Search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. So you can just fill your bench up turn 1. This list is not playing Area 0, so you can't play 8. But if you had Area 0 in play, you could search for 8 basic Pokemon and just play all of them. This deck is so cool. I can't wait to try it. I think it's firmly in C and D tier, but 300 damage is a good number. Monkey Dory makes it 330. Like, you also play Gravity Mountain, which is each stage 2 Pokemon gets minus 30 HP. So even if you don't have the Monkey Dory play set up, you're knocking out Charizards and Dragapults and all the good big giant stage 2s. So I can't find a flaw in the list. It's perfect. Brock.
It's a deck.
It's got a lot of hope, man. A lot of hope. We got
a lot of pieces.
All you gotta do is switch the Chanseys to the prize one, and then it's a perfect list. It's it. 300 HP. Can't get knocked out by a Pikachu. Can't get one shot. Blissey's only getting one shot by Greninja. Everything else can. Dust Snore plus whatever, I guess, but I'm taking the free prize and I'm lucky drawing for a second one too.
That's not how that works.
Sure it does.
Lucky draw is based off of when you take a knockout and take.
Dang it! Is it really? I thought it was. Well, I did take a knockout though. I knocked out.
Yes, but it's not. You didn't take the knockout.
Ooh, judge.
I am a judge.
I don't know. Check your status. Renew your license. Someone give me another. I need another ruling here. This is super cool. I like this list a lot. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and we're gonna mention it briefly, and I won't be on it long. Dragapult does get a new card. It's the only standard deck that really gets something new, and that's the Terra Orb. You can play this in Charizard, but that's the only reason why Dragapult's in here, I promise. The Terra Orb is super cool, and there's countless times where I would just love to Arven for Terra Orb and Crystal and not have to discard anything out of my hand. This is going to be massive for Dragapult. I can't understate that enough. It feels terrible. Arven turn 1, you have Buddy Poffin, Nest Ball. You have a 2-card hand after you play those cards, and then you just can't grab Dragapult on turn 2. It just feels terrible. So this is going to be a massive card. At most, you play 2 of. I don't think you can play more than that. Because then it's just like...
I think it's a one-off.
Like Featherball. I get it. It's just like... It's one of those things where if you prize the 1 Terra Orb, it feels bad. But like, I don't know. If you're going to cut your Ultra Ball down to 2, you got to play 2 Orb.
You don't want to play too much clunk in there, though. Because you're already playing... Especially this build, your deck's already a clunk.
I agree. I'm just saying, if you're going to cut the Ultra Ball for the Orb... It's a different conversation for me.
I don't like this list at all.
Yeah, this list is weird. This is mostly just because it won a tournament and it plays the Orb. That's like
I think the Orb is a one-of until next format, until we lose like Rotom and all that. Then I think it's a 2.
Oh, I could see that too. I also
because like right,
go ahead.
And Fish, like we're losing Fish and Rotom, which are like 2 of the bigger targets you want for your Ultra/Nest Ball in turn 1.
Yeah.
So like past that, I can see you just play. Like the 2 Terror Orb, because you don't have as many targets. This plays a Blood Moon. You don't have as many targets for your Ultra Ball. Like that Terror Orb doesn't like benefit you more.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too. Super sick. I also like the Blood Moon in here. I'm gonna have to try it. I don't know if it's good or not, but like sometimes 240 is enough. Hate it. Don't mind it at all.
But it's good when you're trading. But when you're not trading, it's awful.
Yeah, just don't play it. Ultra Ball all the way. That's fine. So yeah, that's it on Dragapult. New stall deck is live. The Milotic is here. Prevent all damage from your opponent's effects of attack onto this Pokemon by your opponent's Terra Pokemon. This card will be really good after rotation.
Yep.
But it did win a City League now. Because it also plays Noivern, Cornerstone, and Mimikyu. I hate stall. But it's just something that we have to watch out for. And isn't this the one that, and then your opponent's automatically asleep as well. So, like, that's crazy. 160 plus you're automatically asleep. So you do attack with this stall list, obviously, because you have Noivern, Cornerstone, all of these guys can attack. And then it does play the new Gastrodon. As long as this Pokemon is on your benched stage 2 Pokemon have no abilities. So
I think this is a bigger card than people are making it out to be.
I think it is too.
I think this card's a real card. A lot of people are saying like, oh, it's only good in control, but I think this is what's going to elevate control to like that next level.
Yeah, bro.
Like I could see control break 10% now, which is scary.
Ooh, I don't know about that big, but it is big. Bro, that's a lot. Because we're at what 4 or 5% right now.
No, roughly. If you're including like Iron Thorns,
sure, what's included in there? But like you're talking about doubling control. Yeah. But that's a lot.
I don't. This card is going to break a lot of decks.
I mean, you can't use Pidgeot, can't use Charizard, can't use or you can't use
Dusknoir, which is the big thing because there's a lot of like so. Palkia Dusknoir has a winnable control matchup.
Yeah.
Because of Dusknoir, because like you can keep the price trade even to where their only gust is Boss, which they only play 1 of currently. So like if you shut off that, bro, that shit it's like Gastrodons could be very, very like that card could be very punishing.
Yeah.
At the same time, like if they just bench the Shellos, then you can just Dusknoir it that turn.
Yeah. But it's still 70. You have to Dusknoir it, which is a crazy trade for them. I love that trade for them. Because they still, most decks that you play Dusknoir in lose to Covert Flight. Or lose to Dominating Echo. Which this doesn't play Dark Energy. But like I feel like if you're going to play Noivern, play 1 Dark. Like might as well. Because like if you can not, if Terrapagos can never play Area Zero or DTE, like you just win. So like, why not play one dark? So like if they're taking the time to get rid of Shellos, like go for it. The Palkia seems weird in here, but it does guarantee the Milotic attack turn 2, which is kind of cool. And the official Total Pile podcast.
I think this is just a
Pile.
Milotic deck. This isn't a control deck.
No,
by the
maybe.
way.
I mean, Noivern, Cornerstone, Mimikyu.
I mean, but it doesn't play any like the supporters to actually lock or control.
It's too attacking to be considered control, but it's
That's
very
what I'm saying.
It's very locky.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this reminds me a lot of like the Sun and Moon style, like
Oh.
attacking control decks.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, now this is Brock's favorite moment: the actual pile of the week.
Unplugged?
The actual pile, the Total Pile podcast pile of the week, officially endorsed by me. This won a city league. Festival Grounds, Thwacky, Festival
It's been fun,
League.
guys. I think I'm gonna retire from the Total Pile podcast.
We made it, guys. We are winning League Cups equivalents with Festival Lead. We have made it. This is the entire thing that we live for. I want to show up to any league challenge, League Cup, and I want to win with Thwacky, Unified Wings, whatever. This is sick, okay? This is absolutely amazing. It's got the spirit to in here because we don't like things doing stuff, okay? We want to shut that down. We're going to look for any cards we want. We're going to boom, boom, Grove all over everybody. It's the best moment ever. Love it. Brock, thoughts?
I want to go home.
All right. And with that, we're going to send you out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great week, and we hope to see you in the next episode.
Before we leave,
I forgot.
We just made Total Pile podcast playmats. We have 10 available. So if you want one, either reach out to me at Broccoli Aaron YT on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or Tyler Courtney at
Mr. Tyler C. All right, well, I'll put the links in the description. I had such a clean close. I forgot the playmats, dude. That was the cleanest transition to a close I've ever done in the history of this podcast. And I forgot about playmats. I'm so upset about it. And that ruins it. We're out of here. Twitter's in the description. YouTube in the description. See you guys next week. I'm upset.
See you.